It's that time of year again when trains are chartered and coaches booked for the annual pilgrimage to London. The prize at the end of the long road to Wembley is the Challenge Cup. The journey started back in January when Wigan travelled to Doncaster. On that day, Joe Lydon scored 4 tries in a 38 points to 6 victory. The next round was away to Bradford Northern in the mud. One of the heroes was Nicky Kiss, who seemed to please a few with his try. The quarter-final was again away, and this time at a snowy Oldham. It was the first time Kevin Iro had scored a try in the snow. The semi-final against Warrington at Main Road was the closest contest, with Joe Lydon breaking the deadlock with a superb drop goal. This opened the way for the try that took Wigan to Wembley.
On the day, there's not a great deal between the sides really, so we have to go for whatever edge we can, and everybody's got to be psychologically locked on and make sure they can handle like the drive down Wembley Way, as you know, in particular, as I felt was a very emotional drive, and then the walking out onto the pitch, it's all very, very emotional and mentally draining. There's probably just nervous energy being released, so you've got to be able to handle that and then carry on with the 80 minutes.
And of course the Wigan spectators were there in their thousands. It's going to be a tremendous support for you, isn't there?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that's vivid in my mind from last year, because just wherever you went, wherever you go, just seeing, our colours everywhere, the Wigan supporters, just every nook and cranny, doesn't matter where you look, there was someone from Wigan. And it just makes you realise what a thrill it is for everybody, not only the players, and the administrators, but it's just a big day that goes down. It's etched in your memory forever. It's just such an occasion that every single moment will be remembered by everybody.
All thoughts now are on the contest with St Helens. But the team leaves with the good wishes and support of the whole town of Wigan. Away from it all at a retreat in Essex. Some time for relaxing. A final training session. Then a visit to a quiet Wembley, the chance to walk on the turf and consider the realities of what was once a dream. A Wembley final, a capacity crowd, and I'm playing. Now, definitely the last interview. And now it's the night before Wembley. This here, the scene then, the famous Twin Towers of Wembley. Wembley hosting the 1989 Challenge Cup final between St Helens and Wigan. And the Twin Towers, of course, is the place that all rugby league players would want to go to. It's their aim in life, and many of the players on view today, of course, will have been there before. What do you think about the game itself? Is it going to be a tight game, do you think?
I think it's going to be a tough one, but hopefully we should win.
You mean Wigan, of course?
Of course, who else?
What about the St Helens side? Do you think they've got 1 or 2 stars in the side that Wigan would have to take some careful watching?
Oh yeah, there's only really Paul Vorton, maybe Neil Holden if he might make the odd break or two, but I think Edwards will have him sorted.
So it's going to be a Wigan victory, everybody, is it?
Oh
yeah, definitely.
Certainly.
Come on, Wigan!
St Helens themselves, they've got 1 or 2 very good players, and of course with Votan and O'Connor coming over from Australia, that could make quite a difference to their side.
That's right, but they haven't played like over in the Saints team for a few weeks now, so whether they can put it together on the day, it's just a one-off game and what have you. Wigan have played together, you know, the same team for the past few weeks, so hopefully they can do the job.
The 2 teams being led out onto the field of play. A marvellous reception from both sets of fans. That long walk up the tunnel, and then the heavens opened as Jack Robinson leads out the Wigan side with Graham Lowe. Ellery Hanley is captain there holding the rugby ball. And Wigan with their blue and white tracksuits. Well, they lost the toss, so they're going to be playing in blue and white. St Helens playing in their traditional red and white. The team news then for today's Wembley Challenge Cup final, 1989. Steve Hampson at full-back for Wigan. He's made it through after all those mishaps and injuries in the past. Joe Lydon returns to fitness there. And of course, the return of the 2 halfbacks, Sean Edwards and Andrew Gregory, surely a great boost to the side today. The difficult decision that Coach Graham Lowe had to make in the Pat means that Dennis Betts and Andrew Gregory are the 2 substitutes, with Andy Platt and Ian Potter in the second row. On the St Helens side, the youngster Gary Connolly. Michael O'Connor comes onto the right wing. The Manly and ex-St George Australian winger comes centre. There at 6, Shane Cooper, who will be organising the team. And at loose forward, Paul Votan, the Manly Australian player, who will captain the St Helens team today. That means no place for Stuart Evans. He's on the substitutes bench at 15.
Ray Tennant blows the whistle. Paul Loughlin sets the game in motion. The 1989 Challenge Cup final. Steve Hampson links with Kevin Iro. Kevin back in the Wigan side, of course, after the enforced layoff because of the registration with regard to New Zealand. Andy Platt straight away into the action, taking that ball away from acting halfback. Both sides capable of tremendous defence, and that certainly is going to be the first thoughts in their mind in the opening minutes of the game. Tight defence. Gregory, first action. He's strong, he's powerful. Let's hope that that ankle stands up to the pressure of today's game. Not played, of course, for a month after that injury at Castleford. Lydon back in the team. No real pressure from Paul Groves, but that's a tester for Gary Connolly, and he's missed out, and Wigan have won possession. So the first test for the youngster. Ellery Hanley gets into action. Big game and a big player, and he rises to the occasion. Gregory puts the kick in. Edwards and Connolly, it's a race as O'Connor gets back there. Connolly kicks it dead. That's going to be a drop out under the post. All action in this first 2 minutes of play. St Helens side, of course, strengthened by the return of Votin and the Great Britain centre Paul Loughlin, who's been injured. Straight to Steve Hampson. Steve Hampson supported by Ellery Hanley, and Ellery breaking on the right hand side. He does so often, getting Tony Iro in the clear. Iro getting past Connolly. Can he score? He scored! Oh, what a marvellous try for Tony Iro. In fact, it's Kevin Iro. It's Kevin Iro who scored on the right wing. It was Steve Hampson who took the ball and fed Ellery Hanley. Ellery Hanley with that devastating burst on the right-hand side and linking with Kevin Iro, and Kevin Iro's strength has taken him over. And Neil Holding this time kicks off, and that's an awkward bouncing ball which Adrian Sherwood took well. His first blood to Wigan with that marvellous try. And rather weak defence on that side, exposed by the power of Kevin Iro and Ellery Hanley. Nicky Kiss has made good yardage. Edwards back in the fray, back in the action, prompting. And he and Gregory surely two key figures in the organisational plans of Wigan today. Inside ball to Potter, but Ian Potter not taking out with any real pace, and so he has to succumb to the tackle of Paul Groves. Gregory testing now with that short kick, and there's Quirk. There's Quirk, who certainly has got pace as he drifts past Ian Potter, but he's lost the ball. Well, that's a high tackle by Bell. And although Vivers was in very quickly, the referee also in on the spot. And that's going to be a penalty to St Helens. Ray Tennant having a word with Dean Bell. And as ever, Ellery Hanley by his side, the captain wanting to be involved, but Ray Tennant sending him away. Well, Neil Holding has found touch on this right-hand side, just still inside the St Helens half. And here's Tony Burke, heavily plastered around the head, a massive amount of stitches he had in from the last game he played, and there were great doubts as to whether he'd actually be fit for this final, but there he is, and preferred at number 8. And there is Paul Forber, who's playing at 10. Normally been playing in the second row, of course, but played a lot at number 10 in his career as Holding tests Steve Hampson. But who better to pick up a ball than Hampson and step past Vivers as if he wasn't there. Beautiful sidestep from the Wigan fullback. Shelford back quickly, recovering from the kick, but drifts across the field and therefore becomes a little bit easier to tackle. Well, certainly Andy Gregory, who's come through all the fitness training this week, showing no reaction at all to the ankle injury. And there's a fine kick from Sean Edwards. The versatility, of course, of the two halfbacks is they both can kick well. And young Connolly meeting the force of Tony Arrow in the tackle. And Les Quirk also being driven back there. Certainly the Wigan defensive machine in operation at the moment. Forber, who's always very dangerous and of course can offload in the tackle, but no way forward. Holding, who had such a good game in the match last weekend, trying to link with Votin, but no way forward through Ian Potter and Ellery Hanley. Last tackle now. Loughlin links with Connolly. Connolly will kick. That's rather flat, but it's gone a fair distance. Hampson takes the speed. Fullback so happy to be playing in today's game, and he won't waste the opportunity. As Tony Arrow gets into the act once more, drifting in from that right wing as he so often does, trying to sidestep into the gap and force some penetration. Good offload from Adrian Shelford. Gregory in trouble there, but he's got the ball out, but it's been lost and regained there by Ellery Hanley. Andy Platt drifts across, straightens up, tries to push off. St Helens defence too good. Hanley being well met by Cooper, but shrugs off Cooper and drifts away from him. On that right hand side again, he's so dangerous, drifting up that right hand side of the field, capable of making a break. Well, Gregory with the high kick, that's another tester. Dean Bell's coming underneath it, and Dean Bell puts it back for Lydon, and Lydon's well tackled. That's the last tackle, however, so Lydon has to put the hand over. Cooper doing some obstruction there on Joe Lydon, but all the play so far has been in this St Helens half. Votan, who flew over from Australia on Monday, arrived on the Tuesday. Probably got over the jet lag, but it's certainly a lot to ask for a player who's not played with his teammates for some considerable time to just slot back into the action. Good Wigan defence again. Groves showing his versatility and his pace and kicks on. Hampson's there, but Hampson's lost it. St Helens have got possession. The first chance of them to build up an attack near the 22 of Wigan. Vivers no way past Joe Lydon. That's gone backwards to the referee, and Votan has picked it up, stepping into the gap. Good cover from the halfbacks. The holding has run out of players and has to change direction, but there's an overlap on that left-hand side. Burke not used to passing normally, and this time doesn't either. So we're able to take advantage of that overlap on the left-hand side. As Cooper links. Was that a high tackle? No, it was a fine tackle from Shelford on Les Quirk. On the last tackle now, holding, testing Tony Arrow on that right wing. That's a beautiful little kick from the scrum half. That'll be a scrum just 5 metres from the Wigan line. It was that Paul Groves kick which really pushed people back. And Wigan now having to defend inside their own 22-metre area. Balls come out the back and Hanley has to scoop back to pick it up. Votan makes the tackle on his opposite number. And not for the first time this season, two loose forwards acting as captain of their side. Lucas and Burke, two Wigan-born prop forwards. Gregory's wide out and looking for Tony Arrow, finds a great ball as Burke had come inside. And Tony's made 50 yards of field and got over the halfway line. Now we've got the last tackle. Les Quirk had dropped right back. Gregory had spotted it and sent a beautifully floated ball. That's been kicked through. Has it gone forward? It has indeed. It's gone forward on the last tackle, so that's going to be a handover. Roy Haggerty sidestepping and linking, or trying to, looking for support, but nobody there. Bernard Dwyer, who's only just come back to fitness himself, he tries to offload, but that's a mistake, and that's rather sloppy play from St Helens, which we're going to have cashed in on. The halfback's linking. Edwards cuts back inside, drifts across, can't quite find a hole. Gregory trying to put Andy Pat in the gap there. The hole's just not quite appearing there for the scrum half. Lucas finds Votan, and Votan tackles well. Edwards, a high kick, but perhaps not gone far enough, and it's Hampson up underneath it, and Hampson's collected, but it's Ellery Hanley who's offside, says Ray Tennant. Steve Hampson came certainly from well behind Sean Edwards. He wasn't offside, but Hanley was in front of Edwards when he kicked that ball, and therefore the penalty goes to St Helens, and Paul Loughlin finds touch on the halfway line. Well, no breaks at all really through this Wigan defence, just the kick over the top by Paul Groves, which has sent a little bit of panic into the Wigan ranks. And that's been lost again, so it's St Helens who are making the mistakes. It's Nicky Kiss who's taken that ball from Michael O'Connor, and the referee has said that Paul Groves and Phil Vivers were offside. So the game certainly has started well for Wigan. They're almost up to a quarter of an hour of play. One try from Kevin Arrow. Leiden stepping inside, getting a feel of the ball, getting a feel of the contact. And Shelford loses it. Well, certainly the conditions are fine. It's perhaps just a little bit of tension in the players that's causing the mistakes. Haggerty with that traditional high stepping action. Votan shuffles and tries to link, but only meets blue and white jerseys, and that's certainly impenetrable as far as he's concerned. Now Cooper getting to the action, organising, but not organising well, and that's a collision between Vivers and Cooper. A misunderstanding on the St Helens side, and Wigan have won possession again. Platt almost drifting past Haggerty there. Kevin Arrow, the try scorer, trying to find that gap, but Burke covers well across from the back of the play the ball. Well, Lucas takes the straight drive and loses the ball, so we're really seeing far too much lost possession on both sides at the moment. St Helens more guilty than Wigan, but there's no build-up of play, no real continuity. Now, better organisation from St Helens. This time they get it right, and this time O'Connor is in space, and O'Connor kicks ahead, the former Rugby Union international, of course played so well for St George, so he's played for two Saints sides, and the current Australian international. And really Gary Connolly showing his pedigree there as he links superbly with O'Connor on that right wing, but the kick just going too far. Shelford drifting across. Oh, and that's another sloppy ball given away under pressure. Leiden had O'Connor breathing down his neck, So bad piece of play from Wigan. Overlap for St Helens, but Holding is cut back, and he's met the cover inside. Forber stepping out and trying to link. St Helens building some pressure up inside the Wigan 22. Votan strong, powerful and aggressive. He's a fine player, makes few mistakes. Now Holding and Cooper linking on the inside as Dwyer tries to go forward, tries to change direction. No way from that angle could he move inside handily. That's the chip kick there at O'Connor, and Lydon go for it. But Lydon has taken that ball superbly behind his own line and saved the day for Wigan. A well-judged kick from Neil Holding. Tap on the 22. Well, Andy Part, who's certainly been involved in the action so far in this game. And there's another man, Shelford, who must try and make up for that mistake just a few moments ago. Beautiful linking between the halfbacks. Edwards in space, Handley supporting him. What a fine recovery there from Paul Groves. A penalty, Groves lying on. Beautiful play from the two halfbacks. Andy Gregory linking and Edwards hitting that gap and really showing the sort of pace and form that made him the Great Britain international. And Lydon will kick for goal. Well, fully 45 metres, Lydon kicks it, he struck it well, it looks good, it is good, it's 2 points for Wigan. Wigan leading by 6-0 after just 19 minutes play. O'Loughlin restarts then, Wigan in the driving seat. 6 points to 0 up, Tony Arrow drifting across and bursting through. Fine play from the wing. Dean Bell getting into the action, he's not seen a lot of the action so far, but showing his pace and acceleration from the play the ball. Edwards changing the tactics again and kicking through. But I think O'Connor will get back for that. Ray Hanley brings off the tackle. O'Connor loses the ball, but it's gone backwards. No, it hasn't. The referee consulting his touch judge. The ball had gone forward from O'Connor. But Ray Tennant there, using the judgment of his touch judge. So that's going to be a scrum and it's going to be Wigan ball. It's a fine win. Have Wigan got a set move? Hanley's come out of the pack. Dean Bell linking with Kevin Arrow. Kevin Arrow loses the ball. So rather sadly, another piece of lost possession when Wigan really were in the driving seat. And that is a penalty for an offence at the play the ball. So the game certainly not lacking in excitement, but perhaps too many mistakes being made by both sides. So just over a quarter of the game gone, and Les Quirk, who's really doesn't show any appetite for that sort of move as he takes the ball in towards the forwards. Now Tony Burke, but he's been driven back by the Wigan forwards. Well, a fine aggressive run from Forber, but great tackling from Adrian Shelford and Ian Potter. Cooper trying to organise and trying to link with Hegarty. Hegarty on the inside. Linking with Groves, good play from St Helens. This is typical St Helens play. Cooper sells the dummy. Dean Bell covers well. St Helens on top. Well, that's a knock on. Votan has made the mistake. The scrum will be a feed for Wigan. And a chance gone for St Helens. Ellery Hanley takes it away from the base of the scrum. Runs towards Cooper, but Voten quickly out of the pack. So quite an interesting game developing. The score 6-0, of course, nowhere near a convincing margin. Plenty can happen in the next 60 minutes or so. Lydon with the kick, and what a powerful kick that is. That's a real testing kick for Connolly and Quirk, right back to his own line. And that kick of Lydon, with no appreciable wind here, has pushed Wigan forward from their own 22 to the St Helens 22. Loughlin offloads to Burke. But the Wigan defence holds tight. Offside. Nicky Kiss, number 9, the culprit there. Just a matter of inches, it would seem, but enough for Ray Tennant to say a penalty to St Helens. And on view today, we've probably got two of the biggest kickers in rugby league, Paul Loughlin and Joe Lydon. Certainly capable of kicking that ball tremendous distances. Fine run from Forber, and he, like Hegarty, has that high knee action, pumping through the tackle. Tony Burke takes it 2 out and takes the tackle from Ian Lucas. Now the halfbacks linking. Hegarty goes on the inside dummy, and Dwyer, I've seen little of him so far in this game. Well, another unforced error there from St Helens. They certainly, I'm sure, will get the tongue of Alex Murphy at half-time, and he won't be happy with the mistakes that have been made. Now, from the last scrimmage, the ball was dropped by Wigan. Can they keep possession this time as Hampston links in the line, gets inside Connolly and almost loses the ball? Sends a good pass out to Edwards, but Edwards, with no real room to move, has to take the tackle of Shane Cooper. Dean Bell, who's so strong. Lucas takes the drive and bounces into the opposition. And his hat's been ripped off there, the scrum cap, by Paul Groves. Hanley in space. Hanley through the gap. Oh, what a great burst from the... Oh, what a try. What a magnificent try from Ellery Hanley. As that ball came out to the left-hand side, Hanley took that ball on the burst. What a power from the loose forward as he burst through tackle after tackle. This is one great loose forward. A marvellous try. You can see the power and determination on Ellery Hanley's face as he bursts towards the St Helens line. And not so much weak defence, but such power play from the Wigan captain as he gets Wigan's second try. Lydon kicks it over. Wigan leading by 12 points to 0. Well, Loughlin kicks off, his side are 12 points down. And certainly the bookies' favourites Wigan, but Coach Graham Lowe has warned against any complacency. The 2-try lead fully deserved. And 2 magnificent tries that they've scored, both involving Ellery Hanley. And certainly the man for the occasion is the Wigan captain. It's Gregory Test O'Connor now. O'Connor drifting infield, but no way forward. It's Nicky Kiss quickly up there. The halfback's linking, Holding steps back inside, but no way forward there. As the Wigan chant comes up from their massive support here. And the pressure of the defence of Wigan there, showing on the most experienced of players. And Wigan again in possession. Shelford banging towards that play the ball area. Ian Lucas takes it over. He runs straight into Burke. Good tackle from his opposite number there. So Wigan building it up, soaking Saints' defence. As again Ellery Hanley drifts across the field from that inside ball. Links with Andy Platt. But now it's the last tackle. Edwards is in. And the handling on the last tackle there. The overlap was on the right-hand side, but it's gone forward, so it's going to be a handover, Ray Tennant says. Even though St Helens regained possession 10 yards further back. But a handover it is. No advantage taken. And Bernard Dwyer takes the drive. St Helens, of course, a very dangerous side, and many will remember the famous victory last year at Central Park when they were well behind at half-time, and a marvellous second-half recovery saw them to victory, and that's certainly what they're capable of. They've got ball distributing power, which is very, very dangerous indeed. But at the moment, it's Wigan in control, and there's a fine tackle from Joe Lydon. That's a penalty, though, interfering at the play the ball. Ray Tennant indicating that Joe Lydon stole the ball in the tackle. Holding finds a touch. St Helens with a chance. We're just 10 minutes before half-time now to set up one of their planned moves. Forber takes that first drive, tries to roll off Shelford and Kiss, but no way forward. Second drive from Tony Burke, taken very close to Paul Groves. But again, Ian Lucas and Adrian Shelford in on the tackle. Now the wide-out ball. The half-backs linking. Not much room, though. As Holding tries to drift round. He has to offload to Connolly. That wasn't part of the plan. He came under so much pressure from Sean Edwards. And up, whoever, Ellery Hanley. Dwyer breaking away. Fine run from the second row forward. Good cover from Ian Potter and Andy Platt. Now Forber, and he can offload and tries to, but no, the ball is blocked. So on the last tackle now, it's going to be a kick from Holding. O'Connor has got the signal. That's a fine kick. Hampson going for it and jumping miles above everybody else. What a fine take from the fullback. Tap from the 22. Beautiful place of fullback play there from Steve Hampson. The Gregory dummy and the link with Nicky Kiss. Distributive skills from Andy Gregory, which of course Wigan have missed over the last month. Nicky gets another 10 yards forward. He's used to playing on this Wembley turf, of course. And Lydon is used to playing it as he's played so successfully for Widnes and for Wigan. Whereas young Gary Connolly, his first experience of the Wembley scene. Well, Lescourt may be quick, but he's certainly not getting away from Tony Iro. Groves with the dummy. Hegarty offloading. And Cooper taking that ball, look forward. Edwards has covered well, but Cooper's not tackled. And Vivas has stepped inside. Wigan trying to cut him down, and Dwyer has to take the tackle. There's a sort of example of Hegarty hitting that gap. And Roy offloading the ball, and there Neil Holding pushing St Helens forward 7 minutes before half-time. Once more back in Wigan's 22. Well, so far the scrums have met with great tennis satisfaction, and even though the ball shoots out there and it's play on, and that's certainly good for the game as Leiden tries to step into that gap. And Joe, I think, probably must have covered every inch of this Wembley turf in some of his most memorable games. He's certainly outstripped a few defences on this pitch. And he's back now in position as a key kicker as Edwards finds him, and there's no pressure from St Helens. Just a half-hearted effort from Bernard Dwyer, and that's given Leiden time to pick his spot. Les Quer can't get past a pair of arrows, and Kevin it is eventually who brings him down. Burke, who's got back there quickly, and St Helens looking perhaps a little bit ragged here. Disappointed in their own performance they must be, I'm sure, with the amount of possession that they've lost in this first half. And Wigan have been guilty, but certainly their error rate is much less. And there is Haggerty again, trying to offload that ball. Cooper under pressure from Gregory, but gets the ball to Vivas. Can Vivas get past Bell? No way. And Hanley wraps it up as well. So on the last tackle, and Cooper decides to put it in touch. Hampson doesn't risk the touch, so it's going to be a Wigan feed. As we come to the last 6 minutes in this first half, Wigan have won again. Hampson takes it as 6 and takes it straight towards Gary Connolly. Platt quickly out of the scrum and running at his old teammates. Bell pivots and gets away from Bernard Dwyer, but St Helens covering well. Well, the crowd fairly quiet at the moment, but they're going to be livened up any moment. That ball mistimed, and Loughler's picked it up. But the halfbacks not quite getting their act together there on that occasion. And St Helens got a chance to build it up again. So, 2 drives over the 22 on the third tackle. Cooper tries to offload, and the chance gone up for the Wigan. Getting behind their side, holding darts. He's quick, he's got pace, but he's lost the ball, and Potter has picked it up. Ian Potter drives away. Nicky Kiss looking for runners, and he finds Adrian Shelford, who stands still. And the big man's taking some going down and managed to link with Nicky Kiss again, so almost static piece of play there. But Shelford's so strong, he managed to offload that ball with all sorts of pressure on. Gregory dummies and goes the other way. Now a little bit of magic from Dean Bell, but no way forward. St Helens have grouped their defence very well, and Leiden gets in for the kick. This time Dwyer makes better effort of it, and Leiden slightly sliced it, but in doing so has found a touch on that right hand side. Chance for Holding to feed the scrum, and that has been won as Quirk comes from that side. We just got 3 minutes left for play in this half, and the ball's been lost by Quirk. Hampson has picked it up. Wigan in a great position now. A try before half time here could certainly put them in good heart for the second half. Platt takes it on the burst. So Sean Edwards switches the play, looking for runners. Can't find a gap though. Andy Gregory points out the orders, tells Adrian Shelford to go in first man. Gregory steps inside and is so strong that he can offload, but the ball's gone forward. In fact, it's a penalty for opening somebody's mouth, and Ray Tennant indicating that, so I'll let off for Saints once more. Paul Loughlin finds the touch on that left-hand side. So 2 drives from that tap penalty. Paul Forber taking the second one. Now the halfbacks linking wide out, but certainly they've had no real wide out play, and one of the reasons is that we're going to move them very, very quickly in defence, as the 2 halfbacks tried to get their outside runners motoring. And there's another reason, that good defence from Andy Platt. And although St Helens offloaded the ball, really not going any way forward, and there perhaps the story of this first half for St Helens, the number of occasions that they've actually lost possession without any real pressure, and that's one of the reasons why Wigan are leading, and St Helens have got no points on the board. Gregory feeds and Hanley links. So Kevin taking the ball, standing still, and although he's strong, he's not strong enough to push off 3 tacklers. Dean Bell's sidestepping off the left foot and gets away from Dwyer. So dangerous off that left foot. Dean Bell bursting into the gap. Was that not forward? The ball's gone down. The referee not allowing, but that certainly was not forward by St Helens, which he's missed. And it's put St Helens in a great attacking position, and there again St Helens making the mistake. The referee said play on. So quite amazingly, Ray Tennant has said play on 2 occasions there. But the game goes on, and Wigan have got to defend. We're into any extra time added on by the timekeepers in this first half. And the half is going to finish with St Helens on top by the looks of it. But time may be running out for them as the last tackle approaches. Hampson and Lydon have taken 2 superb kicks behind the line. This one by Groves is taken by Andy Platt. And the hooter appears to have gone. It was certainly one of the shortest hooters we've ever heard in rugby league. But the first half is over. We've got 40 minutes in the second half to look forward to. Both coaches will have a lot to say at half-time, but Wigan will be the happier. They're leading by 12 points to 0. Steve Hampson kicks off. We've got 40 minutes left of this Challenge Cup for 1989. The trophy within the grasp of Wigan. Their 12-point difference at half-time with those 2 fine tries from Kevin Arrow and Ellery Hanley, with the 2 Joe Lydon goals. But St Helens must never be underrated. And here's one man, Paul Groves, who basically got them through to the final with that fine break in the semi-final against Widnes. Roy Haggerty can't get rid of the ball though. Good Wigan defence already in the first minute of this game. Steve Hampson lets the ball go underneath his feet, but recovers well and runs straight into that wall of defenders. That's been kicked through, but juggled and gathered by Kevin. Andy Platt shrugging off Shane Cooper's tackle, but Cooper moving up very quickly. Tony Arrow trying to burst away from Neil Holding. Edwards varies the kick and kicks over the top. Beautiful play from Sean Edwards. Now the race is on. Les Quirk, Gary Connolly and Sean Edwards. Quirk gets back there first, as befits the sprinter. But Edwards has pushed Wigan now to within 5 metres of that St Helens line. So St Helens on the rack now. Tony Burke tackled by his opposite number, run by Ian Potter. Forber sidestepping like a halfback. So the last tackle, St Helens have driven away outside their own 22, and Holding will kick, but that one has gone far too far. That's almost landed in Alex Murphy's lap. And he may have sent a message back with the ball to Neil Holding. But the handover is just outside St Helens 22. Lucas takes the first drive. The play has been set up. There'll be a set move surely from Wigan as Adrian Shelford takes the second drive, bursts through the first tackle of Paul Votin. Now the switch in play. Gregory sends a long ball out to Kevin Arrow. Kevin stepping first off his right foot, then off the left, but the St Helens defence just hanging on. So Gregory really swinging the ball wide as Lucas takes the ball, standing still, looks for runners, but can't make any progress. St Helens has been switched. Gregory and Edwards work the dummy run around. Platt tries to offload it, keeps going. Strong play from the St Helens, former St Helens second row forward. On the last tackle, Gregory with the drop goal. That's an important kick, and that's 13 points to 0. Wigan are in the lead. Just 3 minutes gone in this second half.
The drop goal score for Wigan, number 7, Andy Gregory.
So Loughlin getting practice at kicking off, and there is the drop goal scorer linking with Tony Arrow. Tony Arrow bursting through that middle, so dangerous. The gap appeared, Tony spotted it. Now Dean Bell's going off the left, then off the right. But St Helens are regrouped in defence. Edwards decides to kick, he decides to push St Helens backwards. So the game in the second half starting off just like the first half, with territorial position being important, Wigan not messing around in their own half, and the ball being pushed towards that St Helens 22. And certainly the psychological fact that they've had to go back 50 yards as Bernard Dwyer goes off the field. It's Stuart Evans, the former Welsh international prop forward, who's coming on to the field, and he will probably play in the front row almost certainly, with Paul Forber dropping back into the second row. And what a difference can he make to this side? We shall wait and see. As Quirk links from the left wing, but only finds Steve Hampson. Voten at pace, no offloading. And Shane Cooper has lost the ball under the pressure again of that tremendous defence. Edwards links with Gregory, there's a gap. Gregory almost getting past Paul Loughlin. Adrian Shelford in space, drifting past Votan, but Votan brings off the tackle. The double kick at the play of the ball there, so rather a scrappy play of the ball by Wigan has meant that the scrum will form. Oh, Gregory has pounced on that ball. One against the head for Nicky Kiss. Andy Gregory quickly down the ball. Ellery Handy, one of his first touches of this game. Ball in the second half. Hampson in the gap. Great play. Oh, marvellous Wigan play. Iro steps inside. Can he score? The powerful centre has scored his second try for Wigan. 17 points to 0, and Kevin Iro has scored again. Marvellous Wigan play there as the ball was shifted out on the right. Steve Hampson coming into the line, flicking that ball on to Dean Bell. Marvellous ball from Dean Bell. And Kevin Iro at pace. Such a strong player. scores in the corner. Loughlin kicks off again. Ian Potter fumbles, but the ball's gone backwards. And Andy Gregor's linked once more with Tony. Tony drifting across and trying to find the gap. Aidan Shelford takes the drive. Voten and Roy Haggerty getting up in the tackle. Nicky Kiss driving away. Good, strong, aggressive play from the hooker. No messing about. Lydon will kick. And does he kick? That's a tester for Gary Connolly. That may well bounce too far. No, in fact, Connolly picks it up just in front of his own line. With the youngster, no way getting past Ellery Hanley. So a first touch of the ball for Stuart Evans and a confrontation with Adrian Shelford. Two powerhouses in the pack. As the Wigan fans taunt their opposite numbers, Holding almost breaks away. There's a strange silence from the St Helens side of the ground. Well, not strange, it's because Wigan are so dominant. And Hampson can't get past Quirk, but links with Kevin Iro. Iro strong, pushes off Cooper as if he wasn't there. Well, the pressmen are certainly going to have a job in choosing the Leinster Trophy. So many people in for it. That ball's gone down, but it's gone backwards. And Wigan have retained possession. Andy Platt, no, says the referee. Well, Andy Platt, a little bit sad there, that blood-spattered jersey. So St Helens have the chance as Cooper tries to drift past Edwards, but has to double back. Hasn't got the pace to get outside the Wigan number 6. No way is Ellery Hanley going to let poor Forber go past him. Nor Stuart Evans, but Stuart Evans is such a powerful boy. Could have a good future in the game. He's certainly strong. Gregory trying to get Cooper there. There's an overlap on that side. But no way forward for Michael O'Connor either. That's Wigan possession. Another St Helens mistake. Dean Bell on the left wing, sidesteps inside. There are times when Joe Lydon and Dean Bell interchange positions. And Dean Bell on that left wing then. As the half-backs link, Edwards tries to sidestep through a gap which certainly wasn't there. Meets the full force of Paul Forber. The Gregory dummy. And Lucas almost getting past Holding, but Holding hanging on. Ian Potter in the action. But a little bit disjointed Wigan play at the moment, and the last tackle is there now. And Edwards will get in and kick. But that one seems to be straight down Gary Connolly's throat. It is indeed. And again, that looked to me like a penalty, but no, the referee's allowed play on. Those certainly seem to interfere with play, but Wigan have won possession. That's gone forward. Tony Iro pushes it towards Gary Connolly. Connolly recovers, so mistake still in this game. Both sides committing them. Perhaps St Helens committing more. But can St Helens claw their way back as a 17-0 lead? And we're coming up to almost quarter an hour's play. There's been no hint of it so far. On the last tackle, as the Wigan fans chant, "You'll never walk alone." That's a fine kick which Steve Hampson's recovered well. But Vivas so often his opposite number in the St Saints Wigan game makes the tackle. Bell drifts and links with Ellery Hanley. Hanley at speed. Oh, what power play from Ellery Hanley. Marvellous play from the loose forward. Arrow dummies and the gap opened up. The big centres in space. Oh, wonderful play. Too many St Helens players have got back though, and he eventually runs out of space, but Kevin Arrow's having a stormer. The half-backs are linking. There's an overlap on that side. That's been knocked forward. So another chance gone. But that's a free kick. St Helens in possession. What can they produce out of that? They send out the long ball. There's an overlap on this side. Well, O'Connor not spotting it or not wanting to risk it. Now this is St Helens play. And Lucas just foils Paul Loughlin as he drifted onto that inside pass from Paul Forber. That's gone backwards. Votin had lost the ball, but Cooper very quickly up on it. Now the big Welsh prop. The big Welsh prop goes down to earth under Ian Potter's tackle. But this is more like the St Helens play that they're capable of. Keeping possession, offloading in the tackle. Voten makes it another 10 metres forward. Now comes Haggerty, looking for the gap and looking to offload. That's a high tackle. Ian Lucas is the man who's conceding a penalty. Ray Tennant having a word with him, but he's certainly saying keep your tackles down. That's going to be a chance for a kick at goal, which St Helens should surely take. There's still 24 minutes left for play, and in fact Holding has decided, or Voten has decided, to kick for touch. So a chance for St Helens to put some pressure on Wigan now. Can they get over? Will Wigan hold out? Holding goes on his own. There's an overlap on this side. Gregory comes in and managed to force the error on Forber. That's gone backwards. Back to one, says the referee. Evans drives. Lucas meets him. But the big prop offloads. Groves sells the dummy. Blue and white shirts surround him. No way forward for the hooker. Cooper tries to get going. Haggerty looks for the line. No way forward for Roy Haggerty though. 5 metres short. St Helens in possession. Cooper links inside. Forber meets Hampson, Hanley, Gregory and Lucas. This is a test of Wigan's defence. Voten tries to offload. O'Connor comes on the burst. Too many Wigan jerseys. They've soaked up that pressure and we're on the last tackle. This is the test. Cooper going for the line, flings it back inside. Votan keeps it alive. That's another knock forward. St Helens have only got themselves to blame. They've made far too many mistakes, and they're an example. Under pressure, it's a handover. Bell, left foot sidestep. Votan recognises it and stands in position, makes a good tackle. Well, there's a chance gone back to St Helens, so another piece of lost possession. Well, having soaked up all that pressure just a few moments ago, Wigan have got it to do all again. But can St Helens organise themselves so they can expose some gaps in this Wigan defence? So far, Wigan have met everything. There's hardly been a gap left as the run around with Groves and Haggerty comes through, but he's lost the ball again. Andy Gregory gleefully accepts it. So, will Wigan keep possession? Ellery Hanley certainly will. No, he won't. He's lost it. What a rare mistake from the Wigan captains. Oh, this certainly is an amazing piece of play at the moment, with both sides handing possession over to one another. No way to go for Holding. Has to link back. Burke in space. Not the most adroit of passes, but certainly strong as he pushes off Ian Potter. Well, I don't think that I've ever seen anything like this at this standard of rugby. There have been so many mistakes made in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Whether the tension or the pressure is getting to the players, but certainly an unbelievable number of mistakes made by such fine players. Ellery Hanley crawls, makes another 10 yards forward. Andy Platt, well tackled there by Shane Cooper. Perhaps Wigan can build up some consistency of play now. They certainly need it, and the game certainly needs it. Oh, Dean Bell straightens up but can't go through. Edwards flings the long pass out to Joe Lydon. Joe Lydon only to the safe hands of Gary Connolly. No way was Gary Connolly going to get past Kevin Iro this time. So Stuart Evans takes it and tries to power his way through Shelford. Nicky Kiss finishes the job off. Cooper sells the dummy, but there's no runners coming off him. He has to wait for Forber. Forber finds the gap, and this is St Helens playing well. Good cover from Ian Lucas and Steve Hampson at the back. Again the inside ball, and again a second row forward. This time Haggerty hanging on to that ball. Ray Tennant holds his handle off. This is the last tackle. Holding puts the kick in. That's going to find touch in the corner. So at last both sides had a consistency of play.
The substitution for Helens, number 14, Darren Bloor.
So Darren Bloor has come onto the field for St Helens. Paul Loughlin has come off the field. So some changes in the back line. Darren Bloor will go into the number 6 spot, and the two centres are now Michael O'Connor, formerly on the wing, and Shane Cooper, as Steve Hampson makes a strong drive out from the back. Ellery Hanley takes over and links with Andy Platt. Oh, what great play! Unlucky. Andy Platt couldn't quite get that ball away to the supporting Kevin Iro. Hanley dummies. Wigan have gained 50 yards in 2 tackles there. Some fine play. Ian Potter took that ball and he was in front of Edwards, in fact. Sean Edwards remonstrating there, but that certainly was a forward pass. As the Wigan substitutes prepare or go through their limbering up routine on the far side of the field. The scrum goes down and St Helens win it, and St Helens, in the form of Darren Bloor, have made another mistake. So this seems to be rather an infectious disease which they've caught. As Hanley feeds Gregory. Hampson at 6. Edwards misses out Iro and links with Bell. With Joe in space. Almost slipped through. Good St Helens cover though. But Wigan in possession, and Sean Edwards setting Andy Platt in motion. Andy Platt, who's really driven it up very aggressively in this game. Edwards, 2 dummies in the break. Is this going to be a try for Edwards? Oh, what a try! Is he going to score? He flings it inside to Andy Gregory, and Andy Gregory has scored a marvellous marvellous try for Wigan, created by his half-back partner. It was Sean Edwards draking away, 2 dummies, and then slicing through the gap. He sidestepped the young Gary Connolly if he wasn't there. And when the cover came across, an inside ball, and who to but his partner at half-back, Andy Gregory. The combination of 2 Great Britain half-backs was never seen to be more evident in that situation. The one supporting the other, Edwards making the break, and Gregory providing the support, and the sureness, and the try. Well, Joe Lydon clears away the debris. Perhaps his simplest kick of the match. He lines it up, he's kicked it dead centre. Wigan are leading by 23 points to 0, an amazing margin. So the kick-off again, and we've just had another 2 substitutions. Bernard Dwyer has replaced Roy Haggerty, and there an incident, another high tackle. Darren Bloor making the tackle this time on Tony Iro, and that was a high tackle. The referee telling everybody to move away from the scene. Let's hope that Tony Iro isn't injured. But while the referee sorts things out, we can say that Ian Potter has gone off the field. He's been replaced by Andrew Goodway. The referee Ray Tennant had a word there with the captain Paul Vaughton and the offender Darren Bloor. Tony Iro back in action, none too worse for wear. And Joe Lydon will find touch on that left-hand side, and Wigan will have a chance again to build up pressure on this St Helens side. Andrew Goodway gets his first touch of the ball. He wants part of this action, taking it up very aggressively. The miss move on Lucas, and Adrian Shelford takes it. Second drive towards the middle of the field. Andy Platt takes the third one, and Wigan are blasting through this St Helens defence. The halfbacks linking, but nobody running into the gap. As Andy Goodway takes that one well, drifts across Kevin Iro, and Kevin looking for space. Oh, Kevin Iro! Great play. He's had a marvellous game. Gregory tries the kick. Tony Iro and Gary Connolly in the chase, but Gary Connolly makes it under pressure from Andrew Platt. And St Helens back where they really didn't want to be, that's near their own line. Have they any heart really to salvage anything from this game now? In the last 10 or 11 minutes of play, it's been so one-sided in the way the game has gone. Stuart Evans, who we thought might have been able to do something but really doesn't. That's the penalty for offside at the play the ball. As Neil Holding finds touch. The referee's attention being drawn to the substitution. Graham Lowe has decided to give all his squad a taste of the Challenge Cup action, and number 8 Ian Lucas will come off. Well, it has been announced that Nicky Kiss is going up, but I think it's going to be number 8 Ian Lucas who will be replaced by Dennis Betts. But it's St Helens in possession. St Helens inside the Wigan half. The captain trying to inspire his side. Voting pushing that ball forward. Bloor, who is elusive. On that occasion, nowhere near getting a break. Groves with that chip ahead. Gregory stretching to his full height and stepping out of tackles. Lydon's there. Joe Lydon, and Gary Connolly. Lydon flings it in. The touch judge's flag goes up. Connolly brings off a fine tackle on the speeding winger. And Joe gives him a polite ripple of applause. The substitution may well be made now, and in fact it is number 9 Nicky Kiss who's going to come off the field. Well, Nicky comes off the field. He's had a fine game. Dennis Betts comes on. It's going to be Andy Platt, I would think, who goes to hooker. Well, that's a free kick at the scrummage. St Helens take it quickly. Neil Holding trying to put some life into this St Helens side, which really has spluttered for most of this game. Bloor wide out. Dwyer, who's come onto the field for the second occasion, having been substituted earlier. But St Helens must feel quite dispirited now. There's no way that they can breach this Wigan defence, and there, as the ball goes down, it's gone backwards and Hampson has picked it up, but that's a penalty to St Helens for an obstruction, says Ray Tennant. There's 8 minutes left for play. The Challenge Cup could still be on its way to Central Park for the second year in the run. Tony Arrow gets his hand to the ball. The ball bounces dead behind, so it's going to be a drop out under the post. Another wasted chance perhaps for St Helens. So as Joe Lydon prepares to kick the ball out, and the drop kick of Lydon in the semi-final, perhaps one of the real reasons why Wigan are here today. So Connor takes it at pace and tries to sidestep to it almost, but a fine tackle from Andy Platt. Groves takes it on, doubles back. Can't quite make it. Individual play from the hooker. Can St Helens build up some teamwork now as the half-backs combine? Evans takes it on the burst. Dennis Betts gets his first tackle in. Forber hits it straight and hard and drives towards the post. Dangerous player. So the move set on as Bernard Dwyer links and almost goes through with that dummy. But again, Wigan soak up the pressure. Holding kicks through. A great dive from Ian Lucas. Reminiscent of Peter Shilton here on Wednesday night, that. Lucas diving at that ball and saving it superbly. Dennis Betts, his first appearance here at Wembley, and he'll be glad to have been on this soil, but the youngster surely got a great future in this game as Hampson kicks over the top. Groves, who's got pace, goes back, but he's kicked it backwards and Hampson has kicked it through. A lot of yardage gained, but St Helens in possession. Switch of play, Bernard Dwyer. Strong, Lucas meets him well though. Well, Stuart Evans and Adrian Shelford again a confrontation. Two colossuses of the pack. Well, Groves' dummy is not getting him anywhere. He'll give it to Phil Vivers, but Vivers has got no support whatsoever. And Edwards takes the ball off him. Beautiful play. Link, there's an overlap on his side. Hanley running at pace. Getting past Dwyer. Inside Connolly. But the St Helens cover was there. Again, a glimpse of the power and authority of the Wigan captain as Wigan moving wide. Lydon's got the ball. He's got Hampson outside him. Hampson may score in the corner. What a finale for the fullback. Steve Hampson scores the try. So after Hanley being tackled on this right-hand side of the field, it was the half-backs who flung the ball wide. The ball to Joe Lydon with Steve Hampson outside, and Lydon, with a superbly timed pass, has put the Great Britain and Wigan fullback in at the corner to stretch Wigan's lead even further. Well, Steve Hampson taking that pass from Joe Lydon, and perhaps a fitting reward to the fullback who's died to play here at Wembley and has eventually succeeded in doing so. The little kick has not been successful. It's not gone 10. Lydon has sensibly left it. That's a penalty to Wigan. The complete annihilation of St Helens here today, with just 3 minutes left for play. And Wigan leading by 27 points to 0. As Joe Lydon finds touch on the right-hand side against a dispirited St Helens team who've really had the stuffing knocked out of them. It's Wigan on the big occasion. Dennis Betts in as acting hooker. Shelford links the complicated move as Hampson sets good way going on this right-hand side. And Hampson still linking there. But that's probably gone too far, so that's a scrimmage. Steve Hampson acknowledging to his teammates that perhaps he should have kept possession. But there, the pack forms. And Andrew Gregory, with Coach Graham Lowe, sure was glad that he was back to fitness. He and Neil Holding, two great internationals. But Holding this time gets the better at the scrimmage. And the better out of the tackle on Hampson. Fine run from Neil Holding. As we come to 2 minutes left for play of actual playing time, the Challenge Cup is going to go back to Central Park. There's going to be a tremendous homecoming tomorrow. Connolly in the line. He's got a long way to go, only 17 years of age, but today perhaps that frailty exposed as Lucas takes the ball. Handley stands still, sells the dummy. Wigan playing touch rugby now. Kevin Iro sells the dummy. His brother's outside. Tony may score. Oh, a good cover tackle from Forber, but Handley's back up again, and the ball bounces into touch. Well, out of nothing, Wigan created another opportunity on that right-hand side. And it was only desperate cover by Paul Forber which stopped Kevin Iro going in for his hat-trick. Gregory has got the ball at the back of the scrimmage, another one against the head. Wigan move it wide. Beautiful ball to Dennis Betts. Pressure from Shane Cooper though. The ball's gone backwards. Joe Lydon stepping inside. Good St Helens cover. We're actually into injury time, or time added on, as Wigan again move it wide. Oh, what a ball. Tony Arrow and Neil Holding. Neil Holding good enough, but the referee had actually blown the whistle, so we'd have to come back another 20 yards for the forward pass.
Will you please remain in your places to fully enjoy this
So as the announcement goes to keep the crowd behind the fences, we're virtually into a minute of injury time. Darren Bloor links outside. No way forward though. Great defence from Wigan, as it has been throughout the game. Stuart Evans drives forward. There can only be seconds left now. We're well over a minute of time added on. Tony Burke, he's worked hard, but there's another example of lost possession. And Wigan pick it up again. Ellery Handley, captain supreme, in the action, he and Shane Cooper. And Handley gets off better there. Ian Lucas in possession, putting his props, Adrian Shelford in the gap, but Adrian drifting across. But that's gone forward. And there is a final hooter. The crowd salute their heroes. Wigan have won this game. And the booing you can hear is for the few people who run onto the field. Whereas nearly all the crowd has stayed behind. It's the crowd who are shouting to the people who've gone on the field, get off the field. It's the players who deserved the victory today. Wigan have annihilated this St Helens side. They have been so successful. So as the Lance Todd Trophy winner Ellery Hanley leads his side up the Wembley steps to receive the trophy for the second year in succession. It's been a marvellous tribute to those 15 players on the field and the coaches, the backroom staff, the directors and the supporters. Wigan can be justly proud of their rugby league team. All the way up to the top. It's certainly a long way, but it's certainly a journey which every single rugby league player wishes he would have made himself. The crowds support and applaud their team. There'll be a tremendous roar when Ellery Hanley lifts his cup up. He's receiving the award. There goes the cup. Fabulous reception from the whole of the crowd here. Even the St Helens supporters clapping their own adversaries. Wigan have completely outplayed the St Helens side today as the cup is passed along the line. It's been a team performance, and although the game itself has been marred slightly by mistakes on both sides, it was Wigan who made less mistakes on the day, and it was Wigan who are going to take this cup back to Central Park and to Wigan. Graham obviously delighted with the win, but I believe before the game a little bit of superstition crept in.
Well, that's right. I think last year, before we went out in the field, I had to borrow Ellery's belt because I'd forgot mine. I needed his to hold my pants up. I had forgotten all about that, and then just 5 minutes before we went out in the field today, Ellery said, "Don't forget you haven't got my belt on." So I had to quickly take my belt off and try and thread this monster through. It's obviously a much classier belt than I'm used to wearing, and but it was very important both to myself and Ellery, I'm sure, that we carried on all the things we did last year, and maybe it helped.
And certainly Ellery had a fine performance as captain.
Well, he's kept an inspiration, isn't he? You know, he was a deserved man of the match, and I'm very thrilled for him. I'm just thrilled. I think he had a great game.
It was a great football game as far as Wigan were concerned. They were really professional, very clinical. We knew everybody knew the job that they had to do out there today. I think it was a complete, the preparation completely right from as soon as we lost against St Helens on the sort of Sunday, we got down to work on the Monday. We knew his job. In fact, I think it was a feather in our cap really that we probably lost in the Premiership, although we didn't want to lose, don't get me wrong, Alan, but I think that it made us sit up and realise the job we had to do at Wembley the next week, and that's what you got, 27-0 result.
It's a ground I like. I've not lost here yet. I would hate to lose here, but the lads played superb today, and obviously I'm delighted.
There was some doubt obviously before the game with your fitness as far as the hamstring was concerned and some stomach trouble, but it's come through okay?
Yeah, I felt quite good out there. And once you get out, I mean, you forget everything really. Towards the last 10 minutes I can feel it, pulling a bit, but it all went away when Ampo sneaked in for that try.
Good distribution for you on your part.
No, he deserves it. I mean, he's been here. He should have been here 3 times before. He's dipped out, and I think I was the happiest person in the world to see him go over in the corner, apart from himself, obviously.
Well, that's put the icing on the cake for me this year. Like I said, I missed out 3 times. I was very nervous at the beginning of the match, but once I got at the first catch of the ball, I started to enjoy myself.
You must have been very pleased with that very first take of the high ball when the kick went behind the posts, and another great leap and a successful attack. That must have really set you going.
Yeah, it does tend to boost my confidence. I mean, I always hope for an early ball up in the air and just to test myself and just to go on and enjoy it. Just got stuck there.
And you did, of course, today.
Yes, tremendous. It was great to watch. I mean, everybody in front of me that played well, especially on defence. I think defence told today.
Were you disappointed in a way, or surprised perhaps in the way St Helens played and the number of mistakes that they made?
No, I think that's what we aimed to do. That was one of the things that we aimed to put pressure on them and hopefully force them into errors, and that's exactly what they did. And I don't think that they played that badly. I just don't think they were allowed to play that well. I think that's.
And this is the first time you've had your hands on the Challenge Cup?
It certainly is, yeah, and it's. I'm not letting go of it tonight. Me and Taffy are going to stop with it all night, I think, and just drink until it's empty. And then Jack Robinson said he's going to fill it up for me, and then I'll drink until it's empty again.
Absolutely marvellous. I mean, like, I'm over the moon. I mean, Alex in there sick as a chip, and I'm out here laughing. Oh, it's marvellous. It's a great feeling.
The evening celebrations are in full flow. The event is over, but the party's only just begun. On Sunday, the cup is brought back to the families, the friends, to the people of Wigan. The homecoming is met with an enthusiasm that surpasses Wembley Stadium. Wigan Rugby League Football Club is considered part of the family of the town of Wigan. The Challenge Cup is back, where it belongs.